Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Counterbalancing Business, Family, and Life, with your MAPS coaches, Shana Moats and Kristen Williams. Please note this webinar is being recorded. You will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have questions for your coaches, please type them into the questions box located in the webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's fasttrack@kw.com. That's all for me. Kristen and Shana, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Holly. Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be here with you. My name is Shana Moats, and like Holly said, this is the launch to an 8-week group coaching program through MAPS, and we are so excited about it. Kristen and I have been planning this and researching and pouring our hearts into this for the last 3 years. When I was actually due with Josephine, my second, who is now almost 3, and I'm pretty sure I had just spilled like 12 ounces of breast milk all over my office. It was one of my first days back, and went outside to compose myself, and I ran into Kristen in the hallway. She was pregnant with her first Ellie. I think that you had Ellie that day, or maybe it was the next day.
The next day, probably.
And I just remember grabbing her arms and being like, Kristen, we have to figure this out. Like, after you have the baby, can we mastermind? Because this is really hard. Now, I don't think that you knew what you were getting into just yet.
Not yet. Now I do.
You thought I was probably crazy. You're like, whatever.
So like Shana said, that's how this journey began. It was just we've got to figure this out. How do we really do this? And just kind of started masterminding, and it grew and came from there. And so then we've now put together this course, and it's actually an 8-week course, and today is a free 1-hour webinar for you about raising a family, having a real estate career, and how do you juggle all of that. So I am Kristen Williams, and like Shana, I also run a real estate team here in Austin, Texas. I run it with my husband, and she runs her team with her husband as well. I've been a MAPS coach for 4 years, and now we have created this really great 8-week course, and we're going to share our promotional video or webinar today, so you can just get a little taste of what it is that we're going to share with you. So this course today, we hope that at the end of this, you'll walk away with an action plan on a few things that you can do differently in your business, with your family, and in your personal life. So we've got a lot to share. We've got a lot of great content, and that's going to be rolled out over the 8-week group coaching program. So our intention today is leave you with a lot of really great value, and then we want you to sign up for our 8-week coaching program because we just really care so much about.
It's made a huge difference in my life, just going through this process with you, and I know it's made a big difference in your life, the things that we found.
We've been, like, you know how the word lab in our Keller Williams world is a thing? We've been labbing so much.
I don't know what those are. Can you tell me what those are?
We've been labbing so much of this in our own lives, and it's really made an impact. So we're just super excited. We hope that you sign up, and we trust that you're going to get a lot of value out of being here today. So.
Absolutely. Well, before we jump in, we're going to play a little bit of a fun game. And now this is interactive, okay? So this is a safe place, right? And we're going to be really authentic. So you're going to interact with us by leaving me in the comments, okay? And this is a game you've played before. It's called Never Have I Ever. So if this is you, I want to see those me's showing up in that comment. So right where it says questions, we're also going to be looking for your questions, and we also want you to play along with us, okay? So, never have I ever showered with baby wipes, or like used a whole bottle of dry shampoo in like a week.
Oh yeah, like all the time. Yeah. Never have I ever missed my teacher calling, or my daughter's teacher calling to say, hey, she's sick and needs to go home, and then realize like 4 hours later, that's when the teacher called, so somebody else had to figure out how to pick Ellie up from school because I just missed the call.
Oops. Yeah. I think we got a lot of me's on that
one. Yeah.
Never have I ever, okay, this is more for the moms out there. Never have I ever accidentally peed myself a little bit. I mean, that's so embarrassing to say, yet it is true. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, cough, sneeze, all those things. Jump on a trampoline.
Oh, forget the trampoline. That's out. That's out.
And never have I ever forgotten to pick up my daughter from daycare or my dog from daycare. That poor dog, right? Yeah.
And it's only a dog.
Yeah. And
we love Luby.
Yeah. So,
never have I ever had a public 2-year-old meltdown tantrum that I had no clue how to deal with. Mine was in the check-in counter at LAX after family reunion last year, which was really fun.
I've seen lots of me's out there too, so awesome. Keep them up. Never have I ever just shut the closet door and said, you know what, I can't do this. I can't mom today. I can't parent today.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe cried a little bit too. Yeah.
Never have I ever had children that needed to be in 3 different places along with me and my husband trying to get somewhere and not having any idea how I was going to accomplish that.
Juggle all that, be in 3 places at once. Yeah. Never have I ever really doubted my ability to be a parent.
Yeah. Never have I ever doubted my ability to run my business.
Yeah. I mean, we all feel those same struggles. And, it's all kidding aside. I mean, the struggle is real. Can I get an amen? I mean, write amen in your comment box, right? There's a lot of amens in there too. I mean, the struggle is real. And so what we will want to do, and I'm going to change the screen, is, there we go. Read this quote to you, and I want you to read this quote along with me. It says, aligning your values and beliefs with your behavior. Hold on. How do I go back?
Slide failure. Hold on there, guys. Let's see here.
Sorry, y'all.
Right there. All right. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah,
we're learning too.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Aligning your values and beliefs with your behavior increases your chances of being effective at living a fulfilling life without the stress, guilt consciousness, internal strife, or internal conflict.
This is such a powerful quote. I love this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's really the foundation of our class too.
Yeah, it is, because it's really all about living your life in alignment with what your values are. And so often we say yes and we say no, and the yeses and the nos that we say, do we really have a clear perspective on what we're going to say yes to and what we're going to say no to? Sometimes the yeses and sometimes the nos, they seem like the right things. Yes. They seem like good things, and yet they throw us out of whack, because are they really all of them in alignment with what you choose? What's your version of success?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you were at family reunion and you heard Gary say from the stage, your life success is not determined by the yeses. It's determined by the nos. The nos are so powerful. And one of the exercises that we kind of did early on in our research was looking at the time we have available and how are we spending it, right? So I know that I wake up. Now, this is a new habit, okay? It's like the last 6 months. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I go to bed around 9:30. So that on average gives me about 112 hours a week. And what am I doing with that time? Where am I spending that time? So I have many hats I wear, right? I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. We have a coaching program. I'm a wife. I need to take care of myself. Kristen and I both do a lot of nonprofit volunteer work. We have many different hats of those buckets of where our time gets spent. And so I wrote down all of my buckets, all of my hats that I wear, and I said, how much time am I spending in each of these categories? And I came to, I was spending about 40 hours as a mom, full-time job, basically. I was spending about 20 to 25 in production. I was spending anywhere from 3 to 5 on running my team, being the CEO of my team. I was spending about 10, maybe 12 a week on myself, which is a new habit that I'm building. That's a hard one. Yeah, when I added it all up, I saw I'm only spending 92 out of my 112 hours, which leaves me 30 hours. Yet what was I telling someone anytime they asked me how I was or how things are going or do you have time for this? No, I'm so busy. I don't have any time. Was that really true?
No.
No, and I didn't know it until I actually put a pen to paper. So this course that we've created, it's very workshop based. And the first thing that we're going to have you do is take a look at where you're spending your time. Okay, so we're going to take about 5 minutes, and here's what you're going to do. I want you to take the average amount of time you have in a day from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, multiply that times 7, and let's look at that total number of hours. And then you're going to write down each of your buckets, your hats where you're putting and spending your time. What are those? And estimate an amount of time that you're spending there.
And the first answer that comes to your head, in your mind,
yeah,
write that down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's that kind of that blank, that very first thing that you think that'll.
This exercise showed me how much time I wasted watching TV. I didn't know. I had no idea how much time I was watching.
You're like, where did all that time go?
Where did it go? Where is this 30 hours, this mythical thing? So take the next 4 to 5 minutes, and I want you to make that calculation, write down your buckets, and estimate how much time you're spending in each of those buckets. Kristen and I are going to dance for you in the background now. Just kidding.
You've got great moves.
Yeah. If you're getting close to finishing up your calculations, post it in comments. I'm so curious to know.
Yeah.
How much extra time do you have?
And do y'all have any questions on the exercise at hand? If there's something that you have a question on, type it in to the comment section as well, and we'll answer any questions. I'm going to make sure you really spend the time. Again, today is all about spending the time, getting value out of today, and really doing something. So as soon as we sign off in a few minutes, you'll have something to implement into your life right away. An action plan.
Absolutely. Okay, just a few more seconds. Take about another 30 seconds. Okay, so I'd love for you, if you're willing, to share what you learned from that exercise. I'd love to hear about it. One of the reasons that this exercise was so important to me is because of my 3-year-old at the time, Isabella. She's my oldest, and she was in preschool, and she did this exercise for Mother's Day with her teacher, and her teacher would ask her a question and she would give an answer. And I open her folder when we get home from school. I see this piece of paper and I start reading it, and it says, my mommy's favorite thing is to work. And my mommy spends time on her computer typing. It wasn't my mommy's favorite thing is to play with me, or my mommy spends time playing with me. And that was so hard. I realized I was failing her. If her view of me was that I loved working, that's not what I wanted to give my daughter. So through this exercise and through a lot of the research we did, the next year, whenever it came time for that same Mother's Day exercise, I'm happy to report that that she thought my favorite thing was her, and playing with her. So it was a really good turnaround. So I was excited.
And I remember you sharing that with me. Like you came to me with tears in your eyes when that happened, and I didn't quite have a daughter yet. So I learned from you, Shayna, when you said that. I thought, okay, I am not going to work in front of my daughter because I don't want that. So I appreciate that you shared that with me, and we've been friends for a lot of years, because that really resonated with me. And so I've built my habits as a mom around, that specific thing, not working in front of my daughter.
Yeah.
So now that you've had a chance to do that exercise, we trust that it's really going to help shape the way that you view your time and really be impactful. And we'll talk a little bit more about time and a little bit more tools and resources in our full 8-week class. So now that we are going to kind of dive in a little bit more, we're really going to talk about the 3 key areas of your life that are really going to define your values, your success, so that you can really live in alignment with those values. So what we're going to do is we're going to break up the course into business, family, and personal life. And so through conversations with each of those, this is a conversation we really need to have. We're going to talk about what does success look like for you in your business, and the same thing family, and the same thing with your personal life as well. I know that for me personally, a couple of months ago, we were thinking about living in alignment with myself and what's really a value. I caught myself, husband too, full disclosure, sitting on the couch.
It wasn't just you.
Yeah, we were together. But we were sitting on the couch, and we were scrolling Facebook. At the end of the day, we wanted to have a nice evening together. Sometimes we eat dinner after we get our little one down, and then watching TV. And so just like mindlessly, we're just watching TV, scrolling through Facebook. And like 40 minutes go by, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what have we done? We just literally wasted a lot of time where we could have been spending time together. So realized that just really wasn't living in alignment with what it is to have a really great partnership in a marriage. So since then, we have edited and created new rules around social media, yet you really have to do that. And until you have a plan of action, it just kind of, the time will run you versus you running your time. So that's what we really want to do in this class. So let's dig a little deeper, and we're going to start with business. So
well, we are so lucky because we are under Gary's leadership, and he has given us models and systems that no matter if you want to sell 10 homes a year or 500 homes a year, or like Lance Logan sell 2,200 homes a year, there's a model already laid out for us. Now, the most important thing, though, is that you determine what success looks like for you in your business, not what someone else thinks it should be, right? And one of the best ways I've found to do this, because I am competitive and I'm an achiever, so I like the competition aspect, and I sometimes take on goals that I shouldn't, that aren't really mine. One of the things that really helped me with this is Kristen and I have developed a budget model for our family, right? So we have a budget model from MREA, and I backtrack that into MREA to say, to have this budget for our family, to have the leverage we want, the lifestyle we want, etc., where does my business have to be, right? So how do we back that in? And that's going to be something that we talk about in our 8-week course too, is using the models and budgets and systems that we already have in place. How do we funnel that into our family appropriately and use it to get what we want for success in our family? Because here's the thing, guys. It's really easy to work. For me, at least. For me, it is so easy to work because it's concrete. You get that reward, right? You take the client, you sell the listing, whatever it is, it's an immediate reward.
There's a system and model for it.
Yes,
right?
There's a clear path. Yet with parenting, with family, with your marriage, it's not always so cut and dry, and it's not always so instantly rewarding. So defining success in all 3 of these categories is really the core of what we do. Now, we know that all top producers lead generate consistently. Keyword is consistently.
Right. Consistently.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your form of lead generation is, yet we know that as parents, we sometimes have to get creative with how our lead generation looks like. I remember Tim Heil, when he was first getting started, he said, I don't want to work nights and I don't want to work weekends. So that means that I am going to use ISAs, I'm going to use cold calling to get my lead generation in. When I first started in the business, I didn't want to cold call. And so I did open houses, right? I, every weekend consistently for 2 years straight, did an open house on Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4. I didn't miss it. I didn't go out of town on the weekends. If I had friends in town, they knew what I did on the weekends, right?
Yeah, she was the open house queen for.
I was committed,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And that showed up. Yes, that was
your version of success.
Exactly.
Like you knew if you did your open houses, you were going to be successful.
Yes.
You had a metric for producing results.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And so it's really about that consistency with lead generation.
Yeah. Well, and for me, when I first got into the business, the one thing that I used to define a measure of success was I made had 5 conversations every day, and I wrote 5 handwritten notes every single day. And that was my version of success. And I knew that if I did that, I was going to be able to create predictable results too, because I was having conversations. And your success in this business is directly tied to the number of people who think of you when they think of real estate. Gary has said that many times. And so it's tied to the number of conversations you have. So the more conversations you have that you engage in real estate, the more likely you're going to do that. So consistently for me, when I was newer in the business, that was my metric of success. Now it's changed. I have a small team, and so things have changed and ebbed and flowed, yet that was the one really core thing that I could say, I do 5 notes and 5 calls every single day. So you've got to define for you, what is it that you know that when you do that is going to create predictable results for your business and for your life, because it's not just the business, it impacts all the other parts of your life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just being really, really real, okay? Bobby and I went through a really hard time on year 3 of business, because it was my job as the rainmaker to bring in business, and I was not doing my job. I could use excuses, I could say whatever it was, yet the truth of the matter was I was not truly committed to it. And that resulted, I'll just be real, that resulted in $100,000 in debt that we had to then work ourselves out of. And so how did that affect our family? Right? Like, that was one of the most stressful times in our life. And I was pregnant with my second and thinking, how are we going to bring this baby into our world when we are under so much of a pile? And that was really scary. And so we had a plan, right? When we realized we were in there, I wish we would have realized we were sliding before we went all the way down that hill. Yet when we did realize it, we created a plan and we committed to it. And we didn't stop until we were out of that, right? And so whatever that plan is, you have to commit to it, and that comes into your habits. Are you lead generating every single day? I'm not great at that. And so I drive my MAPS coach crazy. We recoined the phrase, and now I call it making moves, because it sounds kind of fun, and I think it's like dancing.
Yeah.
Yet I know that if I am kicking the people I have in my pipeline down the road just a little bit every single day, that will result in what I want from my business. So I put it on my calendar as making moves. I look forward to it. I turn on good music, and I just go for it. It's a habit that I had to build.
That's a great habit.
Yeah.
I mean, habits are so important. I mean, think about the habit of brushing your teeth, for instance. I trust that you all brushed your teeth today, right?
I think I did.
I did. We're like really close to each other, so yeah, definitely did. Yet, I mean, think about that. Do you really have to think about brushing your teeth in the morning and think about it at night? No, because it's a habit.
It depends on how much sleep you got the night before.
I mean, yes, like occasionally, like if our daughter's home from school sick and I stay home for whatever reason and I'm like in pajamas, I may not make it upstairs to brush my teeth. Like, that's like once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Rarely happens. Yet it has happened. So yet on a day-to-day basis, I always remember to brush my teeth. It's second nature. Yeah. Yet how can we make lead generation second nature? How can it be the thing that we don't live without? Like, you brush your teeth. So simple as a habit like that. So we've got to really think about how to make it a habit.
Yeah.
So, and we've got creative ways to lead generate as a parent, because we realized there are some different ways that we like to do it. And as long as we can create predictable results through our lead generation efforts as a parent too, then that's great. We just need to have predictable results, and that's what it comes down to. So we've got some really great things that we'll roll out and share with you in our longer 8-week class. So we're excited to share that with you. So we're up today.
So right now we're going to jump into another exercise. I want you to take out a sheet of paper if you haven't already. And on that sheet of paper, you're going to draw a big circle, probably like 4 or 5 inches big. Bobby says I'm bad at measuring, but I'd say that's about 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, like a can. Like
yeah.
A can for like a soup can.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to switch the slide page.
So what we know is that if we don't determine success for ourselves and our business, we get into the trap of comparison, right? And that's true in every aspect that we're going to talk about today. So what I want you to do is we're going to take 1 to 2 minutes, and in that circle that you drew, I want you to title it business at the top. I want you to write in that circle exactly what success looks like to you in your business. And it's a brainstorm, okay? So I don't want you to write one thing. I want you to just everything that pops into your head.
Yeah, anything that comes to your mind, that's what you should put down.
It could be profitability. It could be buying some leverage back or buying some time back. Mm-hmm. It could be a certain number of homes sold. It could be so many things, okay? It could be hours worked. So I want you to take 1 to 2 minutes now and go ahead and write those things down. Maybe there's a certain level you want to get into. Mm-hmm.
No answer is wrong because this is just a brainstorm.
Yep. And how powerful is it when you know, like, this is my thing. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing this.
It allows you not to compare your insides to other people's outsides. Like, we just came back from family reunion, mm-hmm. and bold law, hashtag bold law. Yeah. We just came back from family reunion and heard all these great stories of how people are doing business. And that's awesome. Implement, and layer that into your business as long as it's going to be the definition of success for you. So that's what we want. We really want you just to understand and live in alignment with that so that you really can feel whole within yourself.
It makes it really clear what you should say yes to and what you should say no to.
Mm-hmm.
Does this align with my version of success?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like maybe 30 seconds more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody like say they're good. Any questions? Y'all doing well? Yeah.
Okay. Good?
Yep.
Okay, good. Let's keep going. So we're going to jump now into family. So what I want you to think about, this is where it kind of gets really messy, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like, we have systems and processes for business, yet family, which is the most important thing, which is why we do what we do and we work so hard, is not clear cut. And we don't yet have those models and systems. Yet, like I talked about before, Kristen and I have developed those for this course, and we're going to share those with you in our 8-week course. Now, this is the messy place. This is where everyone is really different. This is where, defining success in our families is very unique and personal. And
this is where you can really compare your insides to other people's outsides.
Yeah. And I think we're taught so much to define success in our business, right? We have a 1 through 5 for our business and our GPS for our business, yet we don't bring that into the other aspects of our life with the same intentionality. So I know that Bobby and I, we do a GPS every year, and a part of that is family. What do we want our family to look like? What does success for our family look like this year for us? And determining that success is one of the first steps in this whole process.
And we're going to do that in our 8-week class. We're going to really slow down and put together what that GPS would look like and mission statements for your family and for your personal life. So we're really going to dive a lot deeper into that. Yet one really great tool that we're going to share with you today so that you can walk away with some additional value that you can implement into your family right away is a tool called one-on-one time. Sounds super simple, right? It is just 15 minutes of one-on-one time that you spend eyeball to eyeball with your kiddo every single day, or all of your kiddos every single day. And it's one-on-one, so it's parent to kid with no other parent or kid involved. And so what that does is that one-on-one time, research has shown, and we've researched this, and then we've labbed this in our own lives too. Research has shown, though, that your kids are going to get your attention one way or another.
Absolutely.
They're going to get attention positively or negatively. They're going to get your attention. And so when you positively fill their attention bucket with one-on-one time, and we call it special time in our family, so we say, Ellie, it's time for special time, and she's like so excited.
I wonder how she'll feel about it as a teenager.
I hope she really likes it. Yeah, yes, we'll see. And we're going to continue to do it because it really works. So you positively fill the attention bucket for your child. And then we also know through research, because this is a lot of the research we've done, that all people are hardwired for power. So people want to be in control. You want to give your child the time to control what they're going to do in that time. So the only rule with that one-on-one time is that you're going to remove technology. So no TV or movies or video games during that time. And you're just going to spend time connecting one-on-one, eyeball to eyeball, whether it's doing, coloring, crafts, outdoor play, go to the park, whatever it might be. You're doing what they want to do so that you're filling their power bucket, and you're also filling their attention bucket. So that's one of the really great tools that we're going to share with you today. And then another tool that we're going to share with you that you can implement right away is we're going to spend like kind of a module in our 8-week program about the language that we would want to, that we would choose to talk to our kids with, or that we may not talk to our children with. So it's kind of like the language of children. And so one thing that I didn't know as we kind of went on this journey is that it's not best practice to say good job to your kid.
That was like a huge aha for me.
Yeah. So do you want to know why?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I didn't realize this, and neither of us did. And maybe you've heard this, maybe you haven't. And not that good job is a bad thing to say. No. So don't hear me saying that. It's okay to say it. You can't really screw them up necessarily. Yet it's not best practice, because when you say good job, it causes the child to seek external praise from external sources and approval. And so as they get older, if they have been in this praise junkie world where they're always seeking praise externally, at first when they're young, it's about seeking external praise from like your parent or their teachers. As they get older, it's from their peers. And so what you want to do is say something different, and I'll share with you what that would be, so that they can learn to seek praise internally, and it helps to build self-esteem. So one tool that we've learned, and what we would say now is, so my daughter's Ellie, so we'd say, you start out the sentence with Ellie, or their name, your child's name, so it makes it a little easier for you to remember not to say good job. So you'd say, Ellie, you did it. You peeled that sticker off the sticker book all by yourself. She's 2.5, so she's still like learning her fine motor skills to peel off stickers. And so instead of saying good job, it's you acknowledge what she did, and then she's proud of herself. And now we're starting to see her say, I did it, I did it, I did it. And so she says that a lot, and so we feel like super warm and fuzzy inside when we hear her say things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so true. I've noticed a difference in my 3-year-old just from some of these things that we've been doing with them.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful. And one of the things that you do so well is you ask great questions.
Mm-hmm.
And a mom that was further down the road than I was gave me advice. Actually, it was my MAPS coach.
Oh,
yeah. She's full of great advice. And she has kids that are a little bit older than mine. And she said, Shayna, one of the most important times for me is in the car after school.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is our kind of go time, because I'm hearing about their days. I'm learning if they had any struggles. And that's when I'm asking them questions. And I so easily get stuck in the, how was your day? Who did you play with on the playground? And I think that fine tuning our questions that we're asking our children creates awareness for them and also creates bonds and trust. And so that's going to be something that we're going to share in our class as well, is here's like 10 questions that you can pull out anytime if you're stuck or you're not sure how to get your child's attention and you're wanting to bond with them. They're really great questions to ask.
It's kind of like the scripts that we use in our real estate business, the scripts that we would use in our families. So that's kind of those are 2 really good tools that you can take away right away and implement it into your families. And I know that you'll find that effective. And we're excited for you to share with us how that will change how your family does change. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, because even just the difference we've seen in our families, which is what has made us so passionate about this, is that we're actually implementing these things and seeing them work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited
cool
to hear your stories as well.
Yeah.
So another thing that we heard too, which we all know this, like turn off your phone whenever you get home. That's always a good practice. There's, who is it that will not walk in the house on a call?
Bruce Hardy?
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce.
Bruce is like, my wife will drive by and I'm sitting in the driveway on the phone because I made a commitment that I'm not going to walk into the house on the phone. And I loved that, and I implemented that into my own business. Yet, Gary says whenever there's a frustration in our life, there's either a tool or a who that is missing, right? And we've experienced that in our lives, especially with family. I know that for me, when my girls were younger, and you inspired me to do this, I would get home at 5 and it would be time to cook dinner, and it was the worst part of my day. Because I'm trying to cook dinner, my 2-year-old is screaming, my 5-year-old wants my attention, my 2-year-old wants me to hold her, and I can't because I'm trying to cook.
Y'all all know what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh, I dreaded it. Like, I dreaded going home because that was literally the worst hour of my day. And Kristen was like, Shayna, have someone else cook your dinner. Like, figure out something else for your dinner. And number one, I never would have thought about that without the community that I had with Kristen. And number two, I would have never given myself permission. Because I had not defined success for myself in my family, I felt like I had to do it all. And it was limiting me in what I could say yes to and what I could say no to. And I felt held back because I had to give myself permission to do something like that, which is silly.
Yeah.
So whatever that leverage looks like for you in your life, and you've got your nanny is incredible, and you tell us more about that story.
Yeah, so we have a household manager, actually.
Household manager, not a nanny.
She's a nanny, and she does all of our laundry. She preps and cooks our meals. She does the grocery shopping, does all the things. Like, she does the stay-at-home mom things that maybe a stay-at-home mom might do, and does those, and she does them really well. And we are very good to her. We love her. She's part of our family. She's like a third parent. And for me, it's really not negotiable to not have someone like her in our world. Whatever production level we're at, I would figure out a way to incorporate and have her as part of our life. So we actually before we had Ellie, we knew we were going to hire a role like this because we just knew that was part of our life. My goal was to not come home and do any chores or anything other than hang out with my kid. And everything else is done. So we leveraged off all of that. And so we hired to that. So we actually have that job description. I will share that as part of our community. It's part of our class, and so we have that job description.
And you KPA'd her.
Oh yeah.
You went through the whole process.
Yes, it was. Yeah. I think career visioning was the thing back then. Yes,
right,
we did do whatever the ABA on her. I know that's a little bit. Yet I took the systems and models from Keller Williams Business and applied them in our family. Yeah. And so that's again, that's what we're so passionate about sharing with you guys today. So that household manager, and I'll tell you, like today, like this very moment, like I don't know what time it is, like 1:30-ish. Central Standard Time, our nanny is there's something, I'll be honest with you, said no, I didn't say no to. I said yes when I really probably should have said no. I was volunteered, or I said yes to raise money for our classroom. There's like an event where we're raising money for the school, and so we had like a classroom contest, and so I was like, fine, I'll do it, yes. And then the teacher last Friday said, and you're also going to decorate the door too. And I'm like, and I had this like eyeball pop out of my head moment. She's like, you're supposed to decorate the door. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, are you too busy for that? And I'm like, yes, that's what I committed to, and my bad for not saying no. So I said, how can I figure this out? Problem solve, right? Brains, what are my options? What about having our nanny do that? So I texted our nanny really nicely, like, would you be up for a craft project? This is what has to happen. And she's like, totally game for it. So over the weekend, she went to the teacher craft supplies store, and she's decorating our door. And so, Shayna made the point, like, I don't care that she's doing that, because to me, that's not the highest and best use of my time. And I'm very clear on what I'm going to spend my time doing and what I'm not going to spend my time doing. And so I'm okay parents judge me because we have our nanny decorating the door. Whatever. It doesn't. I'm very.
You're not caught in that comparison trap.
I'm not, because I
We're
know.
worried about what they think, because you are very clear on what success looks like to you and your family.
Yep. So it's all about leverage. It does take a village. Yet for whatever budget and leverage you can afford, that's where you're gonna, that's gonna show up. And we're gonna talk more about that. We just can't cover all of that in a 1-hour webinar.
There's no way.
Yeah. There's no way. There's so much though. There's so much.
Shayna and Kristen. Hi, sorry ladies to interrupt. I just want to let you know we have about 5 minutes left on this webinar. So if you want to wrap it up, and if anybody has any questions that we can't get to today, you can always email us at fasttrack@kw.com, and there will be another free training on the 18th. So just wanted to let you know you've got about 5 more minutes.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Which that's the perfect transition.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about our personal life.
Yeah, let's talk about our personal life. So this is one of the places that we struggle the most. And honestly, this is one of the places where I grew the most during this journey. Before, I had really unhealthy habits. I was about 15 to 20 pounds heavier. I didn't exercise. I ate terribly. And my habits were non-existent. And I felt it, right? My business felt it, my friendships felt it, my marriage felt it, everything. And so through this process, I figured out that things like diet and sleep and self-care are incredibly important, right? What do they say on the airplane? Who do they tell you to put the oxygen mask on first?
Mm-hmm. You.
If we as parents and business owners and spouses, or whatever that relationship looks like, are not able to be our best self, we're not giving what we can to our people, which is all that matters. So we know that those things are so important, and it's also important to define success in your life in that way. So the same thing that we did with business, we want you after this to also do it with family and life. What is that brainstorm of what success looks like? And then you're
write it in your circle.
Yep.
Write it down on the paper and really figure out what that is for you.
Yeah. And also one of the key things that we took from this was pre-planning, right? I know that for me to have a successful week, I need to take about an hour on Sunday evenings and plan our family calendar and plan my me time for that week. What does that look like? That could look like reading. It could look like taking a nap. It could look like getting a massage, or whatever it is that's going to fill my energy bucket for that week. Putting it on my calendar and scheduling it.
Because what's that bold law? If it's not on your calendar,
it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Kristen, you go and get a pedicure, right?
Yes. So I pre-book. The idea of pre-booking is just something that I do, and that's a tool that you can instantly apply into your life if you're not already doing it. Every first Wednesday of the month, I get a pedicure at 4 o'clock. It's just on my calendar. It's pre-scheduled with our pedicure place, and I go every Wednesday. So that's just part of my schedule.
And that's part of your self-care.
Yeah, that's part of my self-care.
Yeah.
I know that, like Kelly Henderson, we interviewed her at Family Reunion, and she's a team leader of a market center, has a big team, and then also has 2 little ones. She realized that getting to the gym was just not something she was going to do, so she decided to bring the gym to her. So they bought a stationary bike, brought it home, and then she does workouts at home.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
awesome.
duh, you're not going to make it to the gym, so instead of not working out at all, just do it inside your home.
Yeah.
So I learned that from her. I'm thinking, I need a bike at home
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. So
Well, so Gary has given us the systems and models for our business, right? And through KW Family, we want to give you the systems and models for your family and personal life. And I don't think that we're supposed to do this, so Holly, you just go ahead and tune out of this. I think we can extend the family reunion discount.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Holly, just ignore me right now. If you sign up today for the class, you'll get a 15% discount. And what is the code?
KW
FR20.
FR20. Yeah.
We will email it out to you.
Yeah,
we'll get it to you.
We'll email it out. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. We'll stick around and answer those for you. And we're thankful for you spending your time here. We know that it's really precious.
Yeah. We just want you to, we just care so much about this family, this life, this business, and we just really want our people within this community and this company to live in alignment with that too. So thank you for being a part of us.
Absolutely.
This is your life. You get to choose and decide what success looks like for you. So do that. At the end of this webinar, as I know we're wrapping up, just make sure you still draw your circles. You define your version of success with your business, your family, and your personal life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I think we did it.
Yeah. All right. Well, if y'all have any questions, feel free
Type
to post
them in
them. Yep, we'll stick around for a little while. The thing that I struggle with the most is actually looking for an easy button, right? Like I just think I get to this certain place and there's going to be an easy button when I get there.